stand on the cusp like a blade in the still breath. Mind prep, body tuned to a chill depth. I kill less, but I build when the will tests and etch with a hand that's been trained not to spill flesh. My mind don't race, it rotates in a clean loop. See truth in the void where the dreams move. I don't preach proof, I perceive what the scheme proves and speak from the part of the chart that the beam moves. Each step like a vortex map with intent. I don't walk, I invent how the axis is bent. You ask where I went, I collapsed and ascended. Now I write from the place where the past gets amended. I breathe like a torch song sung in a mist vault. Speak in the dark where the pressure can twist faults. Each word sparks with the charge of a crisp pulse and rides through the page like a prayer with a drift waltz. I sit on the ledge with a robe and a lens scope. Soul in a stance that enhances the end hope. No trend spoke, I bend with the pen stroke and hover in silence like a monk through a zen joke. I watch from a calm mind laying in foresight. The core light embedded in beats with a sword bite. No more hype, I write what restores right. Each bar framed in a flame that the storm light. I float like a data stream tied to a pulse arc. My flow sparks from the bark of a cold heart. I don't throw darts, I compose from a bold art and chant from the edge of the void where the scroll starts. I speak with precision, no word in a wrong stance. Each chance enhanced by the turn of a long glance. I don't bomb dance, I align with the calm chant and glide through the track like a monk in a strong trance. My voice holds weight like a stone in a deep well. The beat tells the truth in a tone that the weak smell. The seat held for the one with the peace spell, who rhymes with the light and designs with a speech dwell. I move like a thought born deep in the sky breath. My rhyme steps through the script with a high depth, no side bets. I decide what the mind gets and land in a line where the wise and divine met. I pause in the silence before the world flickers. Each verse call for the dream. Born listeners, I build with the inner. No gimmicks or whispers, just bars that respond to the soul like scriptures. Dwell in a second before the world spins. With choice ain't a move, it's a voice that the soul sends. My flow bends through the hush that unfolds when you realize the shift don't begin, it just holds in. I breathe in the calm with a heart full of still math. I don't feel wrath, I align with a real path. My quill crafts from a zone with a chill lasts. And words rise slow like a prayer through a steel blast. No fear in the frame, I reside in the blank page before sound forms or the ink meets the main stage. The same age that taught me to name rage now echoes in peace while I step through a plane change. I don't move fast, I descend with a bold eye. See the whole sky from a step where the soul flies. My whole mind's in a breath that the code writes, and bars spin still like a monk in a strobe light. I sit in the gap where the trigger gets summoned, but don't pull, I just witness it thumbing. My script running like a glyph in percussion, but strikes with a calm like a fist made from nothing. I think in a prism where seconds don't tick, where time just exists as a whisper that flicks. I don't spit quick, I construct with a grip thick. Each line stretched from a thread in a slick stitch. My verse ain't rage, it's the breath before fire. It's the stance of the blade in a chamber of quiet. I wire thought forms in a cage of desire, then let go and float on a wave that's much higher. I rest with a pulse in the stillness of line. Each rhyme like a seal on a wheel made of time. I don't rhyme just to shine, I refine and define and speak from the place where the faint lines combine. I hover in silence before motion ignites. My quotes strike precise like the edge of a nightlight. The mic tight, but the vibe is a slight flight that rides through the beat like a hawk in a white sky. I don't chase truth, I absorb it in pieces, then stitch what I see till the silence increases. My thesis, control from the space where the pieces, where bars turn to breathe and the stress slowly ceases. I stand in a hush with a grin and a warm frame before names get called and the form gains a short flame. No force game, I just sit in the core flame and rhyme from a breath that remains when the war came. With a calm that the storm knows. My thoughts hold still when the wildest form grows. I don't fold, I just zone where the core glows, and right through the fire like my soul wore war clothes. I move with a calm breath deep in the mind's vault, where noise fades out and the pressure to find faults. I don't grind false, I align with divine pulse and carve every bar with the hand that time calls. I sit in the fracture where chaos is shapeless, but see through the veil with a gaze that's ageless. Each page sacred, my aim is weightless. Stillness in the storm while the frame stays stainless. I see through the tremble and step with a stone face. Truth in my stance, no chance for a lone break. The throne waits for the one who can own fate and rise through the test with a breath that can slow hate. I speak from a depth where the surface can't echo. The breath flows steady while the world moves retro. Each note special, etched in the tempo. My pen holds peace form stays ghostly. I don't boast, I just coast through the low speed and strike when it's time with a line that the soul needs. No cracks in the frame, just balance and bold tone. Each bar grown from the calm in my old bones. I hold thrones in the silence of closed zones and right from the light where the shadow was homegrown. I rest in the chaos and breathe like a mantra. Speak from the still while the masses chase drama. No armor, I just honor the Dharma and rhyme through the noise with the poise of a llama. I walk through the heat with a pace that's adjusted. Each step pure, never rushed or corrupted. Disgusted, I adapt with a trusted calm that refines what the flame once disrupted. I rhyme with a clarity cut from the silence. Each word a shield, each breath is defiance. No violence, I align with reliance and build from the wreckage with steel under guidance. I see what the eyes can't, thoughts form in silence. Each glance mapped to a course through the timeless. No blindness, I exist past the mind fent and chart with a gaze that escapes with the line bent. I read what the stars meant, threads in the sky text. While most see a scene, I decode through the side steps. My light set in a field that defies that and guides with a will that was formed in the prime breath. I walk in the dark with a map made of insight. Each step sparked by a flash in a dim light. I don't fear night, I command with a thin mic and build from the still where the real meets the pinstripe. I've been past the optic, rise with a soul scan, glide through the static, align with the whole plan, no slow jam. I transmit what the codes can, shift through the mist like a monk with a bow hand. I sit in the still zone, meditate clear. V's appear when the wavelength steer, no stage fear. I engage through the ape sphere and right from the place where the silence breaks ear. I sense what you miss, I perceive what the veil hides. Move through a mist that was built from a failed sky. Sail by with a helm and a pale eye that glows when I channel what flows through the rail line. Scope what they can't, post in a tight grid. Thoughts built clean from the seam of the night script. My mind drifts with the fate and the light mitten sees through the form like a breeze through a slight twist. I study the cracks in the mask of the moment, then quote it, decode it, and write while I own it. You clone it, I unfold what the zone meant and read what's beneath while the peak gets its tone bent. I don't look, I absorb with 1,000 perceptions. Each thought stretched through celestial connection. No question, I move in a restful direction while bars scan the beat like a test for the tension. I sight through the prism of cause and effect code. Each bar born from a mind that reflects whole. No flex shows, I just rise with a set goal to write what's unseen through the scenes that the flesh knows. I drift with no outline, move through a breath trace, no face, just a will that aligns with the headspace. I shed weight in the light of a blessed state and glide through the field with a soul made of swept grace. I got no shape, I exist where the sound breaks beyond time, with a spine and the crown shake. I don't ground fate, I surround with a loud fake and right in the air with a care that the clouds make. I walk with no sense of vanishing clear form, each word born where the fear gets its gears torn. No near norm, I perform with a sphere swarm and speak through the breath of a depth that appears warm. I rest in the mist, no outline to hold me. Move through the script like a wind with a low key. They know me as the calm in the old sea of thought with no frame, just flame in a slow breeze. I talk like a gap in the page where the ink fades. Feel what remains when the time in the brink trade. My mind sways through the light in a thin phase and loops through the truth in a field with a skin fade. I got no edge, just a line that don't end. Each bend in my speech is a reach with no friend. I send what the deep never teaches with pen and write what exists with a shape, don't pretend. I move with no mask, I expand when the tone drops. Speak in a hum when a known and unknown stop. No throne spot, I just float through the bone clock and echo through the cave with a wave that the stone mock. My rhyme's not fixed, I adapt in the still scope. No image, no past, no grasp on the real quote. I feel hope in the ash of a sealed oath and drift through the drift where the self had to kneel. No label, no shell, I'm a thought in ascension. Unspoken presence, beyond comprehension, no tension. I breathe without mention and rest in a state with no shape, no dimension. I shine in the dark with a pulse that's unspoken. Each bar woven from a field never broken, no token. I'm the whisper that's awoken, a voice with no name in a game that's been frozen.